And we're live. That heater is going on right above the table. So if you hear that, that's what it is. I just turned it off though, but you know the thermostat takes like 2 minutes to catch up with it or whatever. So
I'm glad you turned it on. I walked in here. I was like, oh, am I being a bitch right now? It's kind of fucking cold in here, dude.
Bro, I always say, I am, if I need to endure cold, I'll endure cold.
Yeah.
Right? I'll go sit in a tree stand all day. And it doesn't mean that I like it, but I know if I have to endure cold, I can endure cold.
It's the means to an end.
Just like sitting in that ice plunge. Like I can get in there and be stoic. It doesn't make me freak out. I have control over my physiology, but that doesn't mean I like being cold.
I'm not there yet. I'm not stoic. Worth a fucking damn in that thing, bro. Sitting there huffing and puffing.
Well, bro, I mean, fuck. I started doing that in 2015.
Yeah.
And I did it consistently pretty much up until I'd say a year ago. I started to I just do it probably once or twice a week now.
You're like, all right, I'm hard as nails. Everyone knows it.
I'll tell you what though, being hard in any capacity, it's a diminishing skill, bro.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
Like, have you already noticed, like, and I don't know what your fear level is when you're getting, say, like mother's milked by Daniel. What type of anxiety do you feel in your heart when that happens?
Definitely fight or flight. And I suck at fighting at that point because I'm getting mother's milk by Daniel. You know, I don't know if Daniel's ever put me in that position before, but I mean, Eli does on a regular, and it is miserable.
It's miserable.
And you almost have to just accept death.
You do, man. And I tell people all the time, it's like, it incites a fight or flight response. And you're already trying to fight the guy, and you're losing.
You've lost because you're in mother's milk.
So now fight is off the table. So the only thing your body is saying is flee. Well, guess what else?
Do that
guess
either,
what else is off the table?
Yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yes, seriously, dude. And so now it's like, oh fuck, right? But what I noticed is when I was getting my ass handed to me all the time by like Buchecha, it moved the needle so far to where like I could be getting my shit pushed in and I was mentally okay.
Yeah.
Like I was in the fight.
Yeah.
And that's just being conditioned to getting your ass kicked all the time.
I like to think that I'm there. Like I don't mentally freak out anymore.
Yeah. Well, bro, but now because nobody mounts me anymore. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's not because I have the greatest jiu-jitsu in the world.
Unless you fucking let him.
Well, yeah, not unless I let him, right? But that's also part of being a big fish in a little pond, right? If I went down to Checkmate headquarters, dudes would fucking rape me.
Right.
And I know because that part of me is not very conditioned right now, I'd be revisiting those emotions. And it would be like, oh no.
Right.
You know? like, bro, I'm telling you, fucking Big Brandon, like almost past my guard. He like got like a real dominant Toriando and pulled both my legs to the side and like landed on me. And instantly I was like, I cannot have this.
It's fucking terrifying that he's learning jiu-jitsu.
He's getting good, bro.
Yeah. And like you, I was rolling with Steven.
Well, and so listeners know Brandon used to be like a power lifter. And you know that like the powerlifting scene is like eat as much as you can and be as big as you can.
Yeah.
And
Zero cardio.
Yeah. And when he started, he was what, 330 or something?
Around there. Yeah.
And, when you say 330, it can mean a guy at fucking Microsoft that just sits in a fucking chair all day, or it can mean a power lifter. You know what I'm saying? It's two very, very different things. And when he fucking landed on top of me, I felt the emotion of, oh no. And I hadn't felt that in a long time, dude.
Yeah, it's
and I just
miserable.
I framed on his face as hard as I could.
No, that's what you have to do.
Because fuck you.
No,
right?
it's dick jujitsu.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brandon.
Well, bro, I knew at that moment, the only other alternative was get stuck under that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I can't have that, dude.
No
I cannot have that.
It's not fun.
And so, Yeah, bro, that fight or flight response is something that I honestly think, and it goes for every aspect of you as a man, your mental fortitude, your mental toughness, the ice, fighting, like how in shape, like climbing mountains, all that stuff. If you're not current at it,
it's a diminishing skill set.
Yeah, it starts to fucking diminish,
for sure.
dude.
For sure, anything. I mean, archery, I think shooting in general, like firearm stuff, you always know how to do manipulations, but yeah, anything hard like that is a diminishable skill.
Dude, I hate that I just don't shoot that much anymore. I bought a bow and I don't care about guns anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, but dude, I finally got my suppressor last week, and now I'm like a kid in Christmas morning.
Oh, you've taken it out already?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it's awesome.
Tell me about it real quick. I'm gonna double check the thermostat.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I picked up one of those Silencer Central Banish 30 gold. It's a multi-caliber, and dude, I don't know why I waited so long to fucking buy one. Me and my brother both were shooting the other day, and it's like, dude, I feel like such a fucking gentleman out here. Just, it was amazing.
What's the turnaround time on them? They're quick now, right?
They're getting super quick. I set up a trust this time so I could purchase them in the future and have that whole thing set up. So I waited 6 months, but I got a buddy of mine. He waited like 9 days.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Just an individual.
Bro, I got one for my 22 and it was like 10 months.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Fucking stupid.
And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck?
ATF is so good.
What's the point of that?
Money.
Yeah.
It's money and control. That's all it is.
So fuck.
It's a dangerous device that you can't have. Well, unless you pay us a $300 tax stamp, then hey, it's cool.
Yeah. Or I like the 10-day wait period in Washington is a cool off period so you don't commit a crime of passion, right? Hey, open my safe, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, I have 100 guns.
Right.
So I'm sure that I need to go buy another Glock 19 just because I'm gonna have a raging fit and go hurt somebody.
So fucking stupid.
It is. It's all fucking stupid.
I don't want to get us down this rabbit hole and riled up. Man, there's a bunch of bullshit that they're planning on setting on us this coming year with our incoming governor. So 2A community, man, stay on your toes.
Does it have anything that will not be grandfathered in? Are they thinking like, oh, you're going to have to turn this in or turn it? Because that's where I go from a reasonable human being to full-fledged crazy Anderson.
Yeah.
And don't talk about that on your show. No, I will talk about it on my show. I'll be at my Jiu-Jitsu Academy with my body armor on and my Geisley Super Duty saying, come and fucking do something about it.
Don't tread on me, bitch.
And it's like, I know that the government knows that they can push so far, but if it reaches the tipping point, that's where they start to lose control, right?
Yeah.
So they're always playing that game and trying to turn that dial as far as they can without making everybody
maximum control and maximum financial extortion. I
think
is their
goal. But they turn the dial up just to the point where everybody doesn't fucking
not quite
take their bulldozer and weld armor on it and drive it through their fucking
back
building.
Off a little bit.
Yeah. Because dude, it's like, I mean, did you see what I posted this morning?
Yeah, actually, I almost messaged you. I was like, bro, I'm trying to enjoy my morning coffee, and you're fucking getting me riled up about taxes.
No, but it says, and I shared this. I said the biggest scam in life is paying taxes on the money you make, paying taxes on the money you spend, and paying taxes on the things that you own that you already paid taxes on with the money that you already paid taxes on.
Dude, it doesn't end there. When you fucking die and your family has to settle your estate, they're paying taxes on all your shit too. Like it never ends.
Bro, I've talked about it on the show a lot when I gave Levi my old 4Runner.
Yeah.
Gotta pay taxes on Blue Book. Like, where did we go so wrong that we have determined that the government gets a piece of the pie when you give someone who you feel like is your child a car? What? Like, what are we talking about here?
I mean, Ukraine needs that money, dude.
yeah, that's right, dude.
Fuck.
And bro, they're trying their hardest to launder as much money as they can
in the final
in the
hours.
next 20 days. Dude.
You see the same news cycle. It's like, oh, another billion. Oh, another billion. It's like, what the fuck, man? Get these fuckers out of there.
But I did say, if the revolution doesn't pop off in 2024, I'm going to calm down.
Yeah.
All right.
I've kind of made the same promise.
And right now we are recording on December 31st.
Oh my
God. And it's noon exactly. So we have 12 hours left for the revolution to pop off, and we can rant and fucking rave about it. But
and then our wives are going to hold us to our promises.
I know, bro. But here's the thing, man. I am not going to, like, all the shit that we talk about to become the person that could stand up against tyranny. To be that person is having our community, having our jiu-jitsu, having our firearms, having our training, having our will to be defiant. Like, all the stuff that we talk about. Community.
Yeah.
All that shit's going to continue to be honed.
Yeah, for sure.
I am just going to be intentional about not letting the what ifs consume me.
Yeah.
Because, bro, the what ifs consume me for a long time, and not because I'm someone that's like gets caught up in bullshit. Bro, the writing's been on the wall for a while.
I mean, all this shit's real.
That's what I'm saying.
If you either have your head in the sand or you're engaged in this on one side or the other.
And so it's like, I'm not going to put my head in the sand, but I'm going to be intentional about, well,
where you put your energy
to be to truthfully be the baddest motherfucker in the world. It's actually focusing more on yourself and your community and the good things in life. And like, and we're going to get into all this love and power and friendship and balance, all these things that are going to serve us even more so if it does pop off.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I also think, you know, with Trump getting reelected, and I know a lot of people out there is like, he's controlled opposition. It's just all part of the theater. And you know what? You might be right.
Maybe.
Yeah, you might be right.
Maybe.
But regardless if it's real or if it's theater, the next 4 years of theater are going to be more conducive for success in men like ours lives.
Yes.
And that's reality.
Yes.
You know? And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to fucking build my empire. I'm going to do what I have to do, and it's going to be fucking exciting. And I'm going to be less fixated on the bullshit and more fixated on just fucking slaying, dude.
Dude, yeah, I'm on the same page. And like we started talking before we hit record, man, it's obvious, bro, that your trajectory is about to skyrocket. Like, all of us can see that your demeanor, your energy, like, you're about to go up, brother, and it's awesome.
And dude, it's funny because I felt like, oh, I procrastinated on my book, or I procrastinated on this or that, and I there's parts of me that over the last, I mean, really my whole life, that I was like, man, I could have done that better, or I should have done this sooner. But I think the reality is, I'm starting to see it, is you have to grow into the right person for all the pieces to come together.
Absolutely. Dude.
And I don't think there's any shortcuts on that journey.
No.
You can't rush it. You can't, like, don't get me wrong. There are people that arrive at certain points sooner than others, but I think I had to walk the path that I had to walk in order to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
And where I'm at is this platform that I'm going to be able to launch from. And without going through all the crazy ups and downs, and, you know, kind of like we just talked about off air, like some of the shit in my personal life, like professionally, personally, like on an entrepreneurial basis, like I had some big shifts occur lately, and I can feel like the dust is settled, and now it's like, okay, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
It's time.
It's been really interesting. I feel like you and I have had some close parallels lately. Like, we've kind of, not the exact same details, but I'm going through the same shit, man. I've gone through a huge transformation in my life in the past 6 months, 3 months, and then in the past 2 weeks, man. It is, and we're going to get into all this, but like, I'm settling into myself, and I'm ready to grab life by the fucking balls and go too. And
you're 39 now, right?
No, I'm 40.
You're 40.
Coming
okay.
up on 41. And I thought that for the longest time I was squared away, and I was like kind of just waiting for things to happen. And like you just said, like, you have to get yourself squared away and centered before anything good is going to come into your life. Like, you need to clear your plate and clear the air. And sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
No, I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, because men in our society are conditioned to think like, wake up, work hard,
Grind,
burn the candle,
right,
put food on the table,
right,
you know, have some extra money in the bank, be able to take your family on a vacation once a year. It's like all of these just
programs
that, sure, there may be some enjoyable experiences throughout that journey, if that's the journey you walk, but what men are missing overall when you walk a journey that's programmed or prescribed for you is you're not ever finding purpose. And when you don't find your purpose, you feel fucking like you feel lost to a certain extent.
Purpose and self-fulfillment and joy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have any of those things, then you're not going to be successful.
Well, bro, and like, if our fathers were talking about seeking joy in 1980, they would have got laughed out of the fucking, probably the casino or the fucking, the card room that had a fucking haze of smoke and a bunch of glasses of whiskey and shit, right? And it's
Budweiser.
Like, yeah, we looked at those men as like, I mean, that's the type of men I looked up to.
Yeah, same.
And I don't even say that with any negative connotations, because my dad was awesome. It's just
what
it
was.
It's what that generation did. And, you know, you're starting to see more and more people talk about how, like, man, the prevalence of alcohol in our society, is that an accident?
No, I don't.
It's on every street corner. It's on every sign. It's on every fucking magazine.
It's been a part of our culture since our country's inception.
And the interesting thing is, bro, I cut out alcohol and weed. I haven't even thought about alcohol. Not one time.
Bro, I'm right there with you.
Don't miss alcohol at all.
Yeah. We socially had some wine the other night with dinner with friends, and I regretted it.
Did you?
I was like, this tastes good. And then about an hour later, it just brought my vibration down.
Well, bro, and that's exactly where I was going with this. I was literally, I follow a Instagram page. I think it's called Frequency. Frequency's in the name. I don't know exactly what the name is, but it said that they've determined that alcohol lowers your frequency.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't need a scientific study for that.
There you go. Yeah.
Self-attest to that.
And dude, there's been plenty of times in my life where I love having a couple Guinnesses with the guys, and like, it just kind of feels like it takes the edge off. It kind of brings like
it's a social
conversation to the forefront.
Yeah, absolutely.
But dude, what I've found is marijuana does that 1,000 times more efficiently than alcohol for me.
Yeah.
For me too.
Same.
And with zero of the negative effects.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to hear me say this for the next fucking year. I regret cutting out weed for a full year.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been 2 or 3 months now. And it's like, all right, I proved that when I decide to stop, I can stop. It's not hard to stop. It's not, did I have some type of mental addiction? I think yes, because it was becoming kind of a habit in my life.
Right.
But there's no real physical addiction, because the moment I said, hey, I think you're smoking a little too much, time to take a break, the break was implemented and there's been zero issues. Except there's been days when it's like, you know what? It's not that I need weed. It's that I like getting in the I like getting in the sauna, putting my Viking music on.
Yeah. And vibing out.
Yeah. and just kind of moving into that other realm where you think a little differently, and I miss it.
Yeah.
And I miss it not because I'm addicted to it. I miss it because my brain enjoys going through that and having that experience from time to time.
I'm the same way. And the social aspect of it too. I mean, after Friday night rolls and we're all sitting on the picnic tables out there, it's kind of fun to share a joint together.
Bro, I've noticed since I stopped smoking weed that nobody does the Friday night joints anymore.
I think you and I were the only stoners that were really like being a bad influence on everybody.
Well, and then before you know it, you'd have 10 people out there though passing the joint around. But they need a ringleader back, huh?
For sure. Yeah. The shitty weather too, I think. No one wants to stand around.
It's terrible right now.
God, dude.
I went outside yesterday and it was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and it was already fucking dark.
Fucking dark
It was
out.
dark.
God, I fucking hate it, dude.
And I was like, Jenny, I know it gets dark at 3, but it's only 1. Like, what is this? It's just there's so much like fucking haze and cloud cover.
God, work's been really slow the last couple of weeks. I'm so glad of this. Like, fine, I'll stay inside with the lights on and hibernate. Fuck, dude.
So yeah, bro, I wanted to have you on the show because we are on a parallel path, as are, I mean, half the gym.
Half our gym.
Half
dude.
the gym at this point.
Yeah.
This has become our fucking church, man.
Dude.
And I did the heart ceremony. It's probably been a month ago now. And I've already unpacked that on the show. If you're interested in that, I think it was 1 or 2 episodes ago. I did a solo episode and I talked about my journey on the heart medicine ceremony. But just a quick recap was like, after going through some personal issues and having some family dynamics shake out, I went and did that. But here's the interesting thing. It was already scheduled. Like, I had contacted the woman that runs these months earlier because she's fucking booked out. And what's crazy is they say once you commit to this, things in your life start changing. And in between that time is when the family dynamics got kind of shooken up and the pieces fell where they did. And then when I went to the ceremony, she's like, hey, just so you understand, like, in order to move on and grow and become who you're supposed to be, you had to shake that stuff out. You couldn't be carrying.
Absolutely.
You know, there was things in your life that were bringing you stress and bringing you like uncertainty, and that stuff had to get shooken out before you were sitting here. And she goes, and I knew that it would. Like, of course she did.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's crazy that it all worked out in the way that it worked out. I was like, okay, I went through this phase where I had to kind of rediscover my dynamics within my family moving forward. Then I go to the ceremony. She talks to me about all these things about who I'm supposed to be, what I'm capable of, like my energy as a leader. And again, nothing she said is like earth shattering. She really just helps you connect the dots that you really intuitively already know about yourself.
It's a look in the mirror.
It's a look in the mirror.
An honest look in the mirror.
Yes, dude. And then immediately following the ceremony where they talked about me stepping into more of a leadership role and being someone that uses my tongue to wield power as opposed to my sword, like all the things they talked about, literally within 48 hours, I had people worth $100 million telling me they want to help me move into public speaking. You know what I'm saying, dude? Yeah. And like that started, and then Chad Robichaud reached out and he's going to start, and like it's going down. This isn't something like, oh, hey, we just texted each other. Like, no, I got together with his company. I got my bio with them, and they're going to start scheduling me public speaking events.
That's so badass.
And it's like all of this happened in almost instantaneously.
And it's not fucking coincidence.
Once I just believed, yeah, this is what I need. This is who I am, and this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to, because people already heard my story with the heart medicine ceremony, I wanted to kind of give a background of your life leading, kind of what led you to make that decision to do it, and then what it was like, how it affected you. Because, bro, you know you were a fucking listener of the show before we ever met.
Yeah, episode 1, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the type of men that consume this show are us.
Yeah.
That's why they consume the show. And a lot of you guys out there that are fucking just waking up and going to work, and your wife's a bitch to you, and all the shit that just plagues a lot of men, there's a path out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been thinking about this the last 24 hours or so, like, where do I really begin with unpacking all this? But so the ceremony I went to, it was more of a group setting. You did a solo.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So it was a little different. Essentially it was, you're administered a small dose of MDMA, and then you go through this guided meditation and you break into these pods. It's a giant group of people. Then you break in a group of 5, 6 people, random people too. My wife was there, and you're separated. So, if you go with your wife or your family members, you're on your own. You're doing your own thing.
So Rosanna went through ceremony as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was there. She's actually working on becoming what they call a guardian there. So like
someone that holds space,
holds
right?
space.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a counselor position almost. And I'm skipping way ahead here, but just so listeners understand like the format, it's like a big group setting, lights are down low, candles, soft music playing. You take MDMA, and like a clinical measured amount. It's not like everyone's there partying.
Well, and let me say one thing on that, because what they told me was throughout ceremony, you do not take above, I want to say the dose was 300 milligrams. And I'm not sure if that's the right dosage or not, if I'm remembering that correctly. But whatever it is, it's the maximum dosage you can take that will not diminish serotonin levels.
Exactly.
Because like people think of Molly, dude. They go out and just get blasted in the raves, and then they're depressed for 2 weeks.
I mean, I've done that in my younger years, man. I was doing some wild shit in my 20s, but this is not that.
It's a very, very light dosage.
It's very light dosage. This is a very controlled setting. Like it's not a rave. And then so you take the medicine, you go through a guided meditation, and then you break into these groups, and basically what it is talk therapy. And for 6 hours, you take turns through your little groups, and you're lay down on a mat, and you basically you set your intentions, what it is you want to let go or work on or talk about, essentially. And these strangers help you on this path. And dude, we'll get into it in more detail, but it is, for me, it was nerve-wracking at first, because I'm not into sharing my emotions, talking about them as part of the problem that I've been struggling with for years. And I went from nervous to having an absolute emotional release, and I let a lot of shit go that I've been carrying around for a long fucking time. And it is fucking powerful, dude.
When you say a release, was it an energetic release, or was it through words, or a combination?
Both. It was both. So like I'm laying there and I'm talking about what I'm going through, and they basically, like, the group talks you through it, like, and you stumble upon these answers yourself. So you're telling your story and you're going through everything, and then it's like this huge aha moment. And people are there for different reasons. I went there. I've had a lot of self-worth, and had trouble experiencing or letting myself feel love and true joy for years. I feel like I'm really skipping far ahead here.
You can, take it back as far as you want, or talk about this portion of it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be linear. Okay. I guess what my question would be, did you know leading into this that you had trouble feeling love, or feeling a sense of self-worth? Like, was that something you were conscious of?
Yeah. And it took me, I've been struggling for a long time. I think, like any other dude our age, life catches up with you and shit happens, and you just, we're really good at compartmentalizing and just pushing things aside, continuing on with life. And that catches up with you.
Yeah.
And even if you don't think that that's what's going on, like, unless you confront your emotions and truly deal with things, then, man, it's just going to eat at you and eat at you. So I guess I'll rewind further by, I've lived many lives. Like, I'm 40 years old, but man, I feel fucking older and shit, dude. I've gone through a lot of shit in my life. And I've just been carrying around a ton of fucking baggage, dude. Didn't have the best relationship with my father growing up. And, To be honest, he was an abusive fucking prick. And I left home at 16 and never fucking looked back. I'm the oldest of 3 kids. And, he was mentally and physically abusive. I got unjustified ass whoopings on the fucking regular when I was a kid. And I left home and I was like, good fucking riddance. I never want to see you or talk to you again, motherfucker. I hope you fucking die. And, man.
Was that literally the end for you and him?
That was pretty much the fucking end, dude. When I was 21, I got married to my first wife, and we hadn't spoken since then. And I called him and I was like, "Hey, Pops, I'm getting married. I'd love it if you came up here and met this girl and was a part of that." And he goes, "Nope, I got to work. Take care." Hung up the phone. I was like, wow, okay.
Man, what do you think it is? Because, man, I have so many friends, and even the boys having an estranged relationship with their father. Like, what do you think it is to always be seeking some type of validation from them still? Because that's what you were seeking. Like, hey, I want you to meet my girl.
Bro,
I want you to meet my girl, Dad.
I've been seeking validation my entire adult life.
And maybe it is something that is just so inherent in our DNA. Like I've talked about on the show before, most cultures have like a rite of passage.
That's exactly
boys
what it
become
is.
men, and there's a part of that we're supposed to share with the tribe. And when your father abandons you, something is just inherently missing.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like you were you conscious of that as a young man, or were you just feeling that?
I was probably just feeling that. I don't think it was until I was in my 30s when I realized that was a thing. And I was like, oh, I'm doing all these things in my life because I need validation from other men, because I didn't get that from my father. Like nothing was ever good enough. He was a hard fucking man. He was a hard man. He was a construction worker, a carpenter. He was as tough as fuck, old school, tough as nails fucking dude. Didn't take any shit from anybody. But
and it's like almost sounds cool.
Almost sounds
until
cool,
he takes that out on his kids.
Yeah, well, there wasn't the other side of that. There wasn't the loving, nurturing side. Like Joy left our household at a very young age and it never came back. Like,
and bro, now that you've went through ceremony, which again, like we'll dive into both of ours, because we both had a look at our fathers in our ceremony. Man, they were just perpetuating the same cycle.
Yeah, they were.
You know what I'm saying?
They were.
Not to say that there's not fault or blame, because every man is inevitably responsible for the actions that you take. But it's like, oh fuck, man, their generation didn't have.
He was broken and
they didn't have an outlet, bro.
No, they didn't even know what,
or a mechanism to heal.
They didn't even know what the fuck this was.
Yeah,
and I think organized religion is a Band-Aid that society slaps on that. And I mean, nothing against religion. Like I believe in God, but I think that generation used that as like a coping tool or a facade.
I think a lot of, and some listeners might get mad right now, but it's like, ever since the like early days, a lot of Christians are like, hey, Jesus is going to save me. So it's like, hey, I can just behave and act however I fucking want, because he died for my sins. And it's like,
I go to church on Sunday.
Yeah, I feel like some people are outsourcing their responsibility of chasing like spiritual wholeness because someone else died for your sins. Like that, you guys aren't looking at it right. Because I'll have people say when they see my "No one's coming to save you" shirt, like, well, you don't think Jesus is coming to save you? I say, I don't. I think Jesus' message is save yourself.
Yeah.
By doing the right things. Yeah. By being the good person.
He set an example.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's not like, do whatever you want.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
In your final hours, be like, oh, save me. I'm sorry.
Hey, you got fucking nailed to the cross, so I'm fucking good now.
Right.
Like, you can't outsource your health or your happiness or your fitness why the fuck do you think you can outsource your spiritual enlightenment and your spiritual growth?
That's a good point.
You can't, dude.
You can't.
And so it's like, it's the exact same thing. And no, I actually like that you brought that up, because I see a lot of people that have a very strict spiritual belief. Bro, they won't come to a mushroom ceremony. That's witchcraft shit. That's evil.
They won't.
And it's like, what?
They won't bend to any outside the box thinking.
And the thing is, nothing that takes place at ceremony is counterproductive to this god or that god or anything.
Dude, I'm the first one to admit, like, and I'm still unpacking, but I just did my ceremony a week and a half ago. I'm still unpacking a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the revelations keep coming to me. But I'll be the first to admit, I thought the same. I was like, that's fucking witchcraft. That is fucking Satan. And I don't want any fucking part of it. And man,
Until you meet those people.
And I was
They're love and light, bro.
I was so fucking wrong. And it's like, no one there talked ill about religion
Jesus
or God or Jesus or any of that. In fact, a lot of those people believe in the same shit that I do. Like, I don't necessarily believe in white Jesus floating on a cloud, but I believe that there's a God and there's a heaven and there's a fucking hell. Like, same as you, I've had a couple near life death experiences, and there's more to this earth that we're just walking around these meat suits in.
Bro, they say the kingdom of God is in each and every one of us. I think we're all collectively a piece of God.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I agree.
And I don't think that, like, I don't think a God wants to be worshipped. Do you want your kids to worship you, or do you want them to grow in the most powerful people they can be?
And love you and love themselves.
Love you and love themselves, right?
Yeah.
I think this, like, looking up to this deity that's going to be the answer for everything. It's like, no. You're supposed to look in the mirror and find the answers for everything. And that is how you worship a creator. Especially
Christianity, too. I mean, they've used Christianity throughout history to control populations, and like, it's a manipulative tool.
Like, bro, hey, sorry to say that's a pretty undisputed fact,
right?
You know, like, right. Oh, fuck, this could be a whole episode, right? But it's like, you watch. I mean, you look at, like, the Spanish conquistadors just absolutely murdering everybody.
Fucking crusades,
like murdering everybody in the name of Catholicism.
Right?
And it's like, and now a lot of cultures in South America are Catholic, and it's like. Seems strange to me.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
You know, the only time that I was Catholic personally was Ranger School, because the Catholics got to have one wafer on Sundays, and we were fucking starving. Damn, dude. So I was like, you know what? So I can get one wafer and a shot of grape juice.
You're like,
I'm fucking
Hail Mary.
Bro, straight up, dude. They say the Catholic Rangers come together for mass, and I was like, well, I didn't go the first time, and then, like, one of my buddies came back. His name was Josh Poe. He's like, bro, they gave us a wafer, and I was like, what? I'm Catholic next week, bro. And, like, they were saying all these, like, chants in unison and shit. I felt so out of place, but I was like, I don't care.
I've been to one Catholic.
I get that wafer at the end.
I've been to one Catholic service in my life, and I was like, this shit's fucking weird, dude.
But not to take the whole episode down
we're going
a religious rabbit hole. But I think it's an important thing to bring up, because a lot of listeners, a lot of people that follow this show do hold strong Christian beliefs, and it's like, please don't misconstrue ceremony for Satanism or witchcraft. It's like, it's literally quite the opposite, man. Yeah. And for you to sit here and be like, no, I have my beliefs, and I believe in God, and I believe in heaven and hell. And you going into it, you're like, oh, is this some weird Satan shit? So you were thinking that too, right?
Bro, I mean, again, I'm going to skip ahead here really quick, but being around Tyler and being around everybody here that's going through all this and giving this a try. My wife, dude, she's a fucking emotional savage, dude. She has changed her life so much in the past fucking year, and she's been begging me to come for 9 months now.
Well, and I remember you and I were like, bro, we don't need to go
That's
do
fucking
your
woo
little...
woo. I don't like, yeah.
Hey, it's cool. It's working for you, but I don't...
It's not me.
It's not me.
Right? I don't need that shit. I got jiu-jitsu. I'm surrounded by a bunch of savage fucking men. Like, I'm good.
With that said, though, don't go to ceremony because your wife wants you to.
No, absolutely not.
Like, you came to that conclusion, as did I. It's like, the reason that I decided to do it is not because Jenny wanted me to or Tyler wanted me to, because, like, Tyler's the first to tell you, I'll never tell someone to go or not go.
Yeah. I think that's like one of their hard rules.
Yeah,
like you need to be there for yourself.
You have to be there for yourself. The reason that I decided to go was because I looked at my friends that decided to go through it, and I thought, I think they're better for it. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
They're better for it. And so when I went to ceremony, and again, I booked a private because I didn't want to do it with a group of people I didn't know. Just like you, there's an element to that that's uncomfortable.
I didn't want to.
Right? So I booked a private, and she said, what's your intention? And I said, my intention is go through this experience with an open mind and hopefully come out a better person. And she goes, that's not an intention. I said, I know it's not, but I also don't feel broken. Like, I'm not here because I got raped and I just couldn't shake it, or the war is fucking, like, I feel like I've worked through a lot of the things that were troubling me throughout my life, and I feel like I'm in a decent place. But just it's jiu-jitsu, right? And I love that we always give the correlation to the spiritual work to jiu-jitsu, because Tyler is like, bro, it's spiritual jiu-jitsu. Just because I'm a black belt and I'm pretty fucking good, does that mean that there's not a lot of growth ahead of me?
No, absolutely not.
Doesn't mean that at all, man. Yeah. So just because I'm emotionally in a pretty good place, that doesn't mean that there's not some really big things that I could work out.
Always improve your fighting position.
And so that's what I went into ceremony with. It's like, I don't feel like a broken person, but I know I can be a better person.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of where I was at too. Like, I mean, hindsight now, I'm looking back and it's like, oh no,
you're like, I was broken. I was broken as fuck.
Broken as fuck. But yeah, my intention was not.
What intention did you set? Do you remember?
Let me keep talking, because that changed. It changed like that day and that. So let me get back to my backstory. So my old man was just, this fucking dick, and I hated him, left home at a young age, and didn't see him again until 2022, I think it was. And me and the wife went out drinking one night, Saturday night, woke up Sunday morning, hungover as fuck, sitting on my back deck, smoking a joint, and I get a phone call on a Sunday morning from a number I didn't recognize. Like, who the fuck is this? Ignore it. Rings again. I ignore it. Then a text message comes through and it says, hey, my name's so-and-so. I'm your father's girlfriend, and he's on his deathbed, and he wants to see you. I was like, fuck, really?
So 2 years ago.
Yeah. It was right before I came to the gym.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, it was so fucked up because I knew that day was coming. Like, for years, I was like...
You knew he'd call you on his deathbed?
Yeah. I just fucking knew, because he was just a stubborn, fucking bullheaded motherfucker.
So on one hand, you felt what? Like, that's pretty unfair.
Yeah. I felt it was unfair, but also I was not surprised. And we hadn't seen or talked in 20 years, but, my siblings and my mom, we would talk about him occasionally. And
so you kind of had an understanding of like where he was at in life or whatever?
No, none up to that point whatsoever.
Okay.
But previously over the years, it's like we would, us siblings would talk, and it'd be like, why the fuck does he reach out to you? No. And I don't know if it was my sister or my mom. Someone said, well, he found God and he repented for his sins. So
it goes back to what we just said.
Yeah, bro. Oh,
right?
Yeah, dude.
So yeah.
So he's good, and it's all of us that have a problem.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, not his
Jesus.
Alcoholic, abusive fucking lifetime of shitbaggery.
Well, bro, and like ownership is necessary for forgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like people say forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. And I get that to a certain extent. But for me to even sit down with you, he has to be willing to fucking face some of the things that he did.
Right. Right.
And he didn't want to.
No, I think it was a cop out. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Again, getting back to what we were just talking about, it's a religion can be used as a fucking cop out. So I get this message and I'm like, okay, well, I'll come see him. And call my siblings, my sister, who will unpack that in a little bit too, but she didn't want anything to do with the situation. She's like, fuck him, hope he fucking dies. I'm like, dude, that is probably going to happen, and you don't need to grow old and die regretting this. So I encourage you to fucking come with me. She's like, nope, hung up the phone.
I feel like females may have a different level of resentment towards dad.
Yeah, for sure.
That's their protector.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that all that relationship fueled into other shit that I'm currently dealing with right now.
Yep.
Call my brother and he's like, okay, yeah. So the two of us go and see him. And he's on full life support, can't talk, medically induced coma. He had, God damn it, what's that disease? They don't know what the fuck. Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. They didn't know what's wrong with him. His body was shutting down and dying, like a neurologic disease or something like that.
Yep.
I'm sorry, medical people. I'm fucking blue collar retard. Anyway, so they're like, okay, well, we're gonna keep him in this medically induced coma for a week and see what happens. And I mean, they're doing blood transfusions and he's fucking tubes coming out everywhere. And I hadn't seen him in 20 years and he's laying there all tubed up asleep. And I was like, fuck, dude, I knew that this was coming one day. And his girlfriend's like, well, we're gonna fight it and see what happens here. And we had a family vacation planned for months. I was like, all right, well, we're going down to Oregon, you know, keep me posted. And the night before we were supposed to come home, she calls me and she was like, hey, he woke up.
Fuck.
And he wants to see you. And also he's not going to make it. And they're going to ask him what he wants to do. I'm like, fuck, all right, I'm on my way. So I drove 12 hours from Southern Oregon and walked up into that hotel room. And it was the first time me and my father made eye contact in like 20 years, dude.
And that was where up here?
Up here, yeah.
Okay.
Providence and in Seattle. And I mean, I fucking lost it, dude. I was bawling and I asked the nurses, I was like, we haven't talked in 20 years. Can you give us the room, please? And sorry, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. And me and my brother sat there on the bed with him and held his hand. And, you know, I don't know what he was apologizing for, but we're all just going to assume it was everything in life. But, you know, he's tubes in his mouth and his throat. He was like, I'm sorry for everything. And, you know, me and my brother forgave him and we hugged him and loved on him. And, the nurses came back in a short time later and they, you know, they explained to him, they're like, dude, you're not in good shape here. Your quality of life is going to be dog shit. Do you want to continue or do you want us to unplug you essentially? And they were that fucking frank pretty much. I was like, damn, what's up with the bedside manner? Jesus.
It's like fucking a mechanic's
dude
talking to you about your car.
Dude.
Huh?
I mean,
hey, your transmission's fucked.
Hospitals are fucking money, right? So they're like, hey, let's get this guy out of here so we can get the next guy in here. So anyways, he made the decision. He was like, yeah, to go ahead and pull the plug. So me and my brother sat there with him and held his hand while he let go.
That's heavy, bro.
Yeah, dude.
So like first time you talk in 20 years and then he's like, all right, fucking.
Dude, and so much life happens.
Let's fucking die right now.
Right now.
Got it off my chest. Apologize.
He met Rosanna, met my wife. and met Phil's wife.
Was that, did you get a sense of closure from that as well? Or was it kind of a gambit of emotions?
There was, yeah, dude, it was definitely a roller coaster emotionally.
Because I can also see your sister's side of it too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, after torturing me your whole life, you want peace before you step off planet Earth?
Dude,
Fuck
I'm the
you.
same way.
You know what I mean? I see that side too.
Yeah.
But then the other side is like, well, like, who doesn't deserve closure in their last moments of life? You know what I mean? It's not,
yeah.
I don't know. I could sit here and agree with you and your sister choices on this.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah. And I was back and forth. I mean, I still am. Yeah.
Because it's like part of me would want that motherfucker to suffer.
Yeah.
You know?
He caused a lot of hurt.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, you made my whole fucking childhood painful. And
not just that. I mean, he took it out on my mother, like our whole family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
And again, we don't have to go to all the details, but your 20s were fucking crime and drugs and fucked up. Like,
yeah, we'll get into that next.
Because it's like, dude, this was
again,
the fallout of all of that stuff.
It was. I left home at a young age. I had a couple really great friends in my life that tried their fucking best to mentor me and like push me in one direction, and I just wasn't fucking having it. I was a fucking wild young man, dude, and I started doing wild fucking shit.
Should have been a ranger with me, bro.
Dude, I should have. Well, actually, funny story. Right before I turned 18, I went through what's that called? MEPS.
Yeah.
Did MEPS, everything. I was right about to sign on the dotted line. I mean, growing up, I was an army man. I was painting my face in the backyard and fucking playing rock wars with the neighbor kids. Like, I was all about that. I thought for sure, if you'd asked me at 12 years old what I was going to be when I was a grown up, I was a United States Marine. Like, that's what I wanted to fucking do. And then left home at a young age, and a buddy of mine, the two of us were kind of going through the motions together, and did he call me or I called him like the night before we were supposed to go sign and then get on that bus, and I was like, I'm out, dude. He was like, what, motherfucker? And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna sell weed and chase pussy instead. So and that I mean, everything happens for a reason, man, but man, that talk about a fork in the road, because my life changed dramatically from the age of 17 all the way up through my mid 20s, man. I never really have made this public knowledge, but I got into drugs and started selling drugs and was just wrapped up in the wrong fucking crowd, dude. I like people who are in prison right now, and then people that are dead.
Yeah.
And had some crazy good times, and shit was fucking wild, and that was fun, and I was, young, and it was exciting as fuck. But man, I had some fucking close calls with law enforcement. I've had guns pointed my fucking Mexican fucking standoff. Me and another dude with guns pointed to our fucking foreheads. I've had my door kicked in at gunpoint. I've robbed other drug dealers. Like, it was wild, dude.
Yeah.
And all that came to a fucking crashing end when my girlfriend at the time, she got ovarian cancer. It was like really fucking aggressive and came out of nowhere. Like, she got sick, we went to the hospital, and they did emergency surgery, and we were home for 3 days afterwards. And she had pneumonia, I guess, and also they overprescribed her pain meds, and she died of a fentanyl overdose.
A prescribed one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because fentanyl wasn't.
I don't know what she did that day too. She may have over administered, things that were laying around.
Yeah. So not to put the blame on anybody specifically, like,
not specifically, but I mean, they over medicated her for
sure.
They prescribed like these patches that were fentanyl that she was wearing. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, we were both awake, and I was like, I need to go get my fucking driver's license renewed and run some errands because we had been gone for days at the hospital. And she's like, okay, sounds good. I leave. I come back several hours later, and our roommate was cleaning the kitchen. And I was like, she not up yet? She's like, no, I haven't heard her, or she hasn't been out.
And you're what, 24 or something?
No, I was 21 or 22.
Okay.
21. I just had my 21st birthday when this happened. And long story short, I go back into her bedroom and I find her unresponsive and laying on her back with vomit in her mouth, and knew immediately there was a problem. I started yelling, call 911, and I turned her over, cleared her airway, started giving her CPR. Paramedics showed up real quick, and they hit her with a defibrillator a bunch of times, and they're like, sorry, dude, she's gone. I was like, fuck, man. So that sent me down a fucking spiral, dude. I had a lot of things kind of going good for me. I was driving a nice car at the time, had a nice apartment, brand new clothes, watches, all that bullshit.
All from fucking drug money, though.
Yeah.
So that life caught up with you.
Big
fucking
time.
Like,
and it was that. I think it was the fucking universe too.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's enough.
Like, yeah.
Like, pump the brakes. And man, that wrecked me. Like, I was young, immature.
How long were you guys together?
Not very long, like 2 years.
Okay.
Like a year and a half. And at the time, I thought I loved this girl. Like, I was going to buy a ring and we were going to get married, and I absolutely was infatuated with her. And hindsight, well, I don't think her feelings were even necessarily the same, or like, I don't think she was in love with me like I was in love with her. The older I get, the more I've thought about it.
Yeah.
So that happened, and it sent me down a fucking dark path, dude. I tried to kill myself, tried to OD on pills. That didn't work. I went to the casino with not a friend, I guess, an associate of mine. I was fucking wasted, fucking drunk. And we were playing cards, and I was like, I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette. Go outside, have a cigarette, make my way over to our car. And I was sitting in the front seat there, and I was like, fuck it. I pulled out a gun and chambered around. And I pulled the fucking trigger.
Damn.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was a bad primer or what, but it didn't go off. I don't tell very many people this story, but and I was like,
was it a Glock?
No, it was a.
That's all right. Okay.
That's
what. Thank God
it was
you didn't.
A Walter fucking piece of shit, dude.
Thank God. Yeah, that's true. Drug dealers don't have nice guns,
Yeah.
dude. You might have nice cars, but drug dealers always have shit guns.
They're shit.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, thank God you weren't a Glock guy yet.
Yeah. No, not yet. I wanted one, but I couldn't get one. And
what did you think in that moment, bro?
I was like, I can't even do this right.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck me. I can't even fucking do this right. And,
Universe wasn't ready to get rid of Anthony yet, dude.
No, dude. And I spiraled there for a while. I fucking lost everything. I mean, I turned my back on everything. Everybody that I thought was a friend of mine turned their fucking back on me because I was now a liability. And
well, were you being a piece of shit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I was acting reckless.
Yeah.
I was doing stupid shit.
Because at some point people have to turn their back on you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, yeah, people that I thought were homies, I was like, oh, you were hanging out for the fucking gravy train, motherfuckers. And then from there, dude, I fucking just spiraled. I mean, like I said, I threw away everything. I lost my car. I lost my house. I was fucking couch surfing. I lived with fucking shit bags. I had no reason being around. I was just using ungodly amounts of cocaine. Like, I never did needle drugs, never fucked with meth or anything like that. It was always just party drugs, lots of weed, shit like that. And I snorted and swallowed everything I fucking owned, pretty much. Sorry, I was trying to not be emotional. I haven't even talked about this stuff. Like,
yeah.
forever.
Well, bro, and your heart's open right now.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, when you, at least for me, for those 2 weeks after ceremony, when you speak truth, you feel it in your heart.
Yeah, for sure.
And for people that haven't went through it, it probably just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it's literally your heart chakra being more in tuned with your environment and more in tuned with reality. And when you, and it almost resonates with the frequency of truth. And like, I don't know if they talk to you about that in ceremony or not.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you can try and lie, but when we are like in the medicine together, the frequency of lies it's like palpable.
And it just, it just feels heavy to lie.
And so people know it, right? So like she said to me, she goes, so if you like, as we dive into your life, if you want to try and like cover up certain things or not be truthful because it's uncomfortable, she goes, I'll know.
Yeah.
And I said straight up, I'm not here to fucking cover up and lie about shit. That's not why I showed up. So like, you're getting the fucking, you're getting it, dude.
You're getting it. This is me.
You know, but some people go to ceremonies and they're still not ready to open up about shit. And it's like, oh, no, that didn't happen.
Or they
yes, it
spin
did.
up stories in their head.
Yeah.
And sorry, this is kind of long-winded, but all this is going to fucking tie together, I promise. So, yeah, that happens, and I just spiral, man, just pissing my fucking life away. And yeah, man, it was like a good year or so. I was just fucking lost. I mean, not quite homeless, but I didn't have fucking anything. I didn't want to go home. That's for fucking sure. And I didn't have,
well, home being your parents'
my
home?
parents' home.
Yeah,
that wasn't even a fucking option. Even if I wanted to, I doubt my father, because like he knew what I was fucking up to. And about a year of that, and then my first wife, we got together and we kind of like helped clean each other up and started getting our shit together. And
did you guys feel dependent on each other?
Yeah, absolutely. She was actually, I didn't put this detail out earlier, but she was actually our roommate at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So her and and my girlfriend at the time, they were friends, and three of us lived together. So she was there for everything.
Got it.
So we were kind of, it didn't set our marriage up for success right out of the gate, because we were probably codependent on each other and kind of just wallowing in this fucking tragedy together. And, we both had our issues. So I was married to her, and my mother-in-law at the time, she was like, you need a job, motherfucker. I was like, yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea, because I'm going to end up in fucking jail or dead. I need to do something with my fucking life.
I like how you had to be told.
Yeah.
Hey, motherfucker.
Yeah. She was much sweeter than that, but yeah, basically it was like, hey, you're going to be married to my daughter. You need a fucking job.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, a friend of mine is starting this company. He's a land surveyor and pays pretty good. You should go check it out. Yeah, long story short, I get hired at this place, and bunch of cool dudes. I mean, blue collar construction trade. I fit right in. And the first crew chief that I got assigned to, Daniel August pitcher. This guy was 5'8" on a fucking good day, but just built of fucking iron. He was a former Force Recon Marine, and the universe paired me up with this fucking dude. Out of everybody that I could have got assigned with to go work with, me and him worked together every day for like 2-3 years straight, and he fucking cleaned me up.
Yeah.
Like from day one, like just like he just
How old was he?
33.
Okay.
And
So
he had just been medically retired from the
got
Marine
it.
Corps. He had served multiple tours.
And bro, Force Recon guys, all the Force Recon guys I know are studs.
Hard as nails.
It's a
stud.
fucking, it's a really, really strong community.
Yeah. And he projected that energy. Like, type of dude that would look you in the fucking eye with a smile on his face, but it's like, dude, you could fucking kill me if you wanted to. Like, that type of dude. And, dude, he cleaned me up. Like, he taught me, first and foremost, he's like, be on time and be on time and come with the right shit that you need to come with. So show up on time with your fucking work boots and your hard hat. Be 5 minutes earlier, you're fucking late. And he
like lessons that are kind of like,
duh.
But coming from the drug world and a non-existent father, something as simple as, hey, be 5 minutes early and be ready to work.
To absolute fucking structure in my life.
Yeah.
And like this dude was fucking regimented, dude. Like he was medically retired, so he's smoking cigarettes and dipping and being a fucking Marine. And he fucking could drink. Holy shit. But he taught me the trade. But more importantly, he really like instilled in me what it means to be a fucking man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just be on time and come with the right gear, but if you say you're going to be somewhere, be somewhere. Like he taught me that your word is your fucking bond, and that's all you fucking got in this world. Like, man to man, you tell someone something, you be there. I was like, okay, roger that. And you know, we were friends for 10 years or so, and I moved on, you know, got promoted and was doing leading my own crew and working. And one day he didn't show up for work. Just no call, no show.
So you didn't work for him anymore, but you still worked on the same type of project or whatever.
Exactly.
Same, okay.
We're now peers.
Got it. So, I mean, so that means you guys have been working together now for 10 years.
For 10 years.
And
we hung
also,
out outside of work.
Okay.
Like, I would go up to his fucking house on the weekend and we'd drink beer and we'd shoot guns. We'd PT together. Like, he fucking cleaned me up.
And he fucking, man, I really like those relationships where it feels like a friend, but they're also a mentor.
He was a mentor.
Yeah.
He was a friend.
Very few men have held that position in my life. And the ones that do, it's unforgettable, because peers are one thing, but the guys that can hold the peer, like we can go out and we can get beers and we can hang out and be peers, but also when they sit you down, like there's wisdom to be imparted on you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And he was just a fucking savage, smart ass dude. Like, you and Lappin would have fucking loved hanging out with him, dude. He was a fucking animal. So
he didn't show up to work.
Yeah, he didn't show up at work one day, and our boss calls me. He's like, "Hey, have you heard from Pitcher?" I was like, "I saw him last Saturday night, but no, I haven't heard from him today." He's like, "Well, he is a no call, no show, and that's kind of weird." I was like, "Yeah, when in the fucking last 10 years have you known him to ever do that?" He's like, "Never." I was like, "Something's not fucking right here." So I get off work. And I drive up to his house up in Marysville, and I pull into the driveway, and his personal truck is there, and the work truck is there, and all the fucking lights are on outside. I'm like, okay, did he just go on a fucking bender? And he had some PTS, like he had some fucking issues. And
you said he deployed several times.
Yeah, several times. Yeah. And you know, there were a couple times when me, him, and my brother, we drank too much, and those demons fucking came out, and it wasn't pretty. Like, he was a mentor, but also he had his own fucking
problems.
Problems,
Yeah.
You know? So I show up at his fucking house, and everything's like there. I'm like, okay, something's wrong.
You just know it. Yeah.
I just know
your
it,
intuition
right?
says it's off.
Something's fucking off here. And a mutual friend of ours came with me, and I was like, I said it out loud. I was like, oh, maybe he fucking tied one on last night and he feels like shit. He's having a fucking episode. But as soon as I said that, I was like, dude, something ain't right here. And walked up on the porch, stood to the side of the door, banged on the fucking door. I was like, hey, Pitch, it's me, it's Monson. Hey, I'm coming in, dude. And the door was unlocked. I'm like, slowly turn the handle and open the door, and his yellow lab buddy was standing there and just soaked in fucking blood.
Damn, dude.
Just soaked in blood. And I was like, fuck. And I could smell it. Just that metallic smell, you know. I was like, Pitch, man.
His dog was laying down with him, man.
Yeah. I was like, Pitch, man, where you at, buddy? And walked down the hallway to his bedroom, and he had put his pistol under his chin and exfilled.
Fuck, dude.
So I found one of my best friends and mentors crumpled up in a ball at the foot of his bed. His brain splattered all over the ceiling.
And that was?
I was about 27, 28 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. It was 2013.
Okay.
Somewhere around there, I think. And
fuck,
that,
dude, it's, I mean, that is such, those stories aren't surprising anymore.
No.
As devastating as they are, it's like,
it's so common.
Fucking prevalent, dude.
Yeah.
And
especially coming from your community.
And bro, that's why I try and be an open book and I try and talk about them. And that's why, like, as hard as it is for you to tell those stories, like, people need to hear these stories because, man, we've all been in the moment where it's like, it's time to, I can't fucking take it anymore. Fuck this world. Yeah. You literally pulled the trigger up, bro. I mean, like, we've all been in that fucking moment in time. But the fucked up thing is that's all it is. It is a moment in time. And if you can just weather that moment, bro, if he weathered that moment, he'd probably be on our jiu-jitsu team with us.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah.
And it's like, but if you can't weather that moment, it
wins.
It fucking wins, man. It fucking wins. And like, and then you finding him, whether you know this or not, you probably learned this at ceremony, bro. There's a trauma attached to that you're going to carry.
Yeah, that
you're not going to be able to, that you have to deal with now.
Right.
You know,
and that's where I'm getting to with all. I'm not just spilling my guts here, folks, to whine and complain, but all this is going to lead to somewhere. And after that, like, again, for a little while, I spiraled, and dude, I mean, I lost a best friend and a mentor, and
you found him,
and I found him.
That's a total different dynamic.
I was so fucked.
Did he live alone? Did he not have a family or anything?
Lived alone. His family's in Michigan, and
Where'd his dog go?
Where did the dog go? Our mutual friend Jen took his dogs, and lived out a good life with her. And I met his family when I was actually a pallbearer at his funeral. Me and a couple of the guys from work, we flew back to Michigan. He got full military honors burial. Met some of his former teammates.
Well, bro, it's people are now. It is a combat loss.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But the war followed him home.
Yeah,
and that's the truth of it. If all the guys that are doing this hadn't went and done and seen and had all those experiences, the epidemic of suicide would not be taking place.
Right.
And so, but what sucks is it's like, you know, I've talked about this often. What I've seen in a lot of my buddies that have inevitably went down that route or that path is that they kind of lost a sense of purpose. They lost a sense of team or like camaraderie.
That's exactly what he was dealing with.
Okay.
I mean, he said it regularly. It was like, dude, I miss my boys. I miss my team.
And it's like, as much as he enjoyed your guys' team.
It wasn't the same.
It's just try and compare those two things.
Yeah.
Out being a fucking warrior,
Right.
fucking fighting men to the death in the streets of Fallujah, to now going to the casino and having a beer and then surveying Monday morning. It's like it's hard for men to accept that transition.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, bro, you can't be that forever.
Right. Right.
So you have two options. You either die in battle, or you figure out how to assimilate to a new life back home. That's your only two options,
you gotta
man.
put down the swords.
You have to, man.
Yeah.
And that's so fucking hard for a lot of men to do. It was hard for me to fucking do, man.
Right.
It's once something becomes your identity, and then you have to set that identity down, that's where the wheels fall off. And that's where I tell cops and soldiers and bro, even like, you see it in professional fighting too. It's like, man, you're this fucking, or not just professional fighting. Eben Britton talked to me about it with his buddies in the NFL. Like, you're this young savage thing, and it can be a Force Recon Marine, or it can be a fucking NFL fucking player, like whatever it is. You have this period of time where you're something that feels super important, super powerful. People respect it. That's another thing, right? Yeah. Like you almost hold like this.
It's an energy.
This image from society. And one day that you set that down.
Yep.
And the only way that I think you can set that down and move past it is setting that down and picking up a new mission and a new identity and a new journey. And that journey, good luck filling that void with a job at Walmart.
Right.
Or a job running wire,
anything.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're what you trade hours for dollars for is not going to fill that void of passion and power.
I think especially if your job is life and death and you're getting a daily like adrenaline rush from doing shit.
Yeah.
Like that's a hard transition to make.
And it fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
Like it sucks because there's so many men whose Super Bowl is in the rearview mirror.
Right.
And it's like, as soon as that's how you view yourself, like imagine thinking the best version of Anthony is not in the future.
Is gone.
Yeah. Well, fuck
dude,
you.
That
You're
would
dead
fucking
then.
eat you up.
You're fucking dead. You are dead.
You're done.
Then.
You're done at that
point.
know? Yeah.
And so, fuck, man.
Yeah, fuck.
So it's like, Well, okay, let's do this. Let's intentionally move towards healing now.
Yeah, okay.
Because I know you got a lot more dark shit, but we're also an hour and 20 minutes, right?
Holy shit, really? Damn.
You lost your fucking girlfriend. You lost your best friend. You lost your fucking dad. Like, then you show up here 2 years ago. And bro, I'm starting to understand. I think this Jiu-Jitsu Academy is like the onboard process to healing.
Bro.
Do you know what I'm saying?
We were just talking about that during sauna confessionals last night. Like,
speaking of sauna, I just turned it on. That's why I picked my phone.
Oh, hell yeah.
So when we're done.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, like people come here. And bro, you came here as a directive from Mike Glover.
Yeah.
You know, he looked right at you and goes, "Why aren't you training with Greg if you live local?" And you're
right.
Like, "All right, I'll see you Monday."
Yeah.
And then you and Oliver showed up, and you've been literally as consistent as teammates can be.
Yeah.
Ever since then. If you're not here on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's just like you said with fucking Pitch. It's like, dude, what's up?
Yeah.
You're not here, something's up, dude.
Right.
And so like through joining this team, I've already watched the transformation in you.
Dude, it's
like
crazy, man.
And I honestly think the reason why jiu-jitsu is proving to be a very powerful, what I would call like an onboarding process for spiritual work, is because spiritual work is happening on the mats.
Yeah.
You can't be full of shit on the mats. You have to face some fears on the mats. You have to realize who you think you are and who you truly are. Those two people
may not be
not the same.
No.
Those two people meet. I say it all the time on the show. The person that you meet on the mats is not your opponent. The person you meet on the mats is who you think you are and who you actually are.
Again, I think it's a hard look into the mirror.
It is, man. And you can't train as consistently as you and Oliver have for the last 24 months and not come to those conclusions about like, oh, okay. I thought I was this, but I'm actually this.
Bro, funny story. I was sitting in the walk-in clinic the other day because I need to get my ribs looked at because I tore the fucking cartilage on the front of it.
At Jiu-Jitsu.
At Jiu-Jitsu. Thank you, Tyler. No, it was my fault. But no reception in there, and I'm bored, so I'm flipping through my pictures. I was looking at pictures of us training a year ago. I'm like, I don't even recognize that dude.
Yeah.
From a fucking year ago. I'm looking at this picture of me, and I'm like, I don't even recognize that dude's eyes.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not your physicality.
My jiu-jitsu, I would beat the fuck
Of
out
course.
of me a year ago.
100% you
I
would.
fucking beat the brakes off of me a year ago. But like spiritually, emotionally, dude, I've gone through some serious fucking changes in the last 6 months.
Well, and that's where I'm getting is that you show up here, you start to learn about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You start to be able to face your weaknesses. You start to be able to lean into discomfort, all while simultaneously doing that with a bunch of other really great men that are doing the same.
Yeah.
And a handful of women too.
Yeah.
We got some fucking great women here
Fuck
that are on this journey too.
Yes.
And so you do that for a year, and then you see guys like Tyler, myself, Will,
Zach,
Tobin, like these dudes that nobody looks at that group of men and thinks anything other than, man, those are strong, great fucking men.
Yeah.
Right? And they're leaning into these healing ceremonies.
They're leaning into their own discomfort.
Yeah. And they're doing these things that, man, a lot of people think are kind of weird. They feel kind of strange. Like, and let me ask you this. Was it the fact that Will did it something that kind of helped validate it in your mind? Like, I can do this too?
I think it was kind of a domino effect. It was like one by one watching you guys all go there and experience that. And getting back to my wife, like for the past 9 months, she's been begging me to go. She's like, everyone would love to see you there. And, you know, your friends are fucking there. She would ask nicely. She'd ask not so nicely.
Yeah. What are you afraid of, pussy?
Yeah, pretty much. Like we had arguments about it.
Yeah. But again, like, and it isn't going to work for you until you come to that conclusion.
Right.
Because, bro, think if you went a year ago because Rosanna wanted you to. And the irony in it is she wanted you to because she knew
I needed it.
that you needed it.
Yeah.
But you didn't know you needed it.
Right. And I guess that's a perfect segue into how I finally ended up going. So she's been doing tons of work on herself. Like she's fucking awesome. I mean, she's not the same woman she was a year ago. And with the two of us, like, I think like a lot of people our age, it felt like we were just going through the motions. It's like, oh, I love you too. But do you feel that when you say it? You know, it felt like we were just kind of placating each other and just, you know, just going through the motions.
Which is fucking half of 70% of our society.
Most of us, right? And she came up to visit me in my hunting camp in September, and all the boys had gone home. It was just me. I was going to stay for a few more days, and she had just done a ceremony, and she came up there. She came up there pissed as fuck, and we had it out about a lot of things, and we were both crying and yelling just in the woods, in the mountains alone. It was perfect. And for a minute there, I was like, oh, our marriage is over. And long story short, we worked through a bunch of stuff together, and both of us came clean about some things, some betrayal things, and just I think both of us realized we were not being good partners to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then we arrived at a really happy place, and we left there, and we left the mountains, and it was like, fuck, I feel good about us now.
Next time I'm going to fight with Jenny, I'm going to drive her out in the fucking mountains.
She needs to be willing to go if you're going to do that. Edit that part out, maybe. Yeah. Around October, she was like, hey, the end of the year ceremony is coming up. I would I don't want anything for Christmas. Would you please come with me? And she's like, I'm not making you come. She
wanted that.
She wanted that. And I was like, I hem and hawed, and I was like, all right, fuck it. What do I got to lose, right? And then I saw Will go in there.
So then you kind of did it for her then.
Initially.
So even going into
I
it.
agreed. I agreed to go kind of for her. I was
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to get her off my fucking back about this. And I did that ayahuasca ceremony a year ago. And I guess I was a little gun shy going back into this setting because that
wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me, man.
Bro, ayahuasca is not our medicine.
It's not.
That's what I've learned.
In fact, after this last ceremony, I started thinking about it. I was like, dude, ayahuasca is kind of fucking dark, man. Like,
well, it just depends, right? Like for me, it wasn't dark, but for me, mushrooms are my medicine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know that
sure.
now. I just connect to them differently.
For sure.
And you have to find what works for you.
So I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. Let's do it. And
really quickly before we jump into that, this will have to be another episode because we only got 30 minutes left. But you got a bull elk, a buck, a bear, and
a mountain lion,
and a mountain lion.
Yeah. So
you had a good hunting season.
Okay, so all that, we only got 20 minutes left. Damn it. So all that ties into my experience at ceremony. So everything, all the stories I just told you, I didn't even conclude that, but all that shit over the years, I've done what everyone else does. I compartmentalize, I push it down inside and medicate with marijuana, with booze. And over the years, I'm like, okay, I'm fine. All that shit's in the rearview mirror. But I wasn't. And I've been walking around for years, just fucking miserable on the inside. Like, not letting myself truly give into the emotion of joy and happiness. Like doing things that give you pleasure, activities, accomplishments, winning a gold medal at a jiu-jitsu tournament. It's like, okay, that's fucking awesome. And then 12 hours later, I'm like, now what?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, bro, I'll tell you, and this is where jiu-jitsu is a double-edged sword, because when I was my darkest, when I was straight suicidal, jiu-jitsu didn't pull me out of that. Jiu-jitsu just gave me 90 minutes of reprieve.
Relief. Yeah.
Relief.
Exactly.
If I didn't have jiu-jitsu, fuck.
Dude, I know. And for the past 2 years now, I've been using jiu-jitsu as a fucking Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it makes me better. This is therapy for me.
It's partially true, but it's also it's
not addressing the root problem.
No, it's a good way of putting it. You can use jiu-jitsu as a Band-Aid, and sometimes you need a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not right or wrong. It just was what it was. But jiu-jitsu alone wasn't helping me crawl out of the hole. It was just helping me maintain.
Yeah. So let me try to wind this up really quick. So yeah, I'm archery hunter and I love hunting elk, and I've had some success, but the last several years of no luck. It's been really fucking tough, close encounters, but couldn't make it happen. And second day of season in September, I shoot a fucking awesome bull, nice 4x4 bull, and
here in Washington,
which
is
public
hard.
land, over the counter tag in the back country.
Yeah,
and shot this fucking bull, perfect shot, 13 yards, smoked this fucking bull. Everything just it went. You know how hunting is; it goes from 0 to 90 miles an hour in the blink of an eye, and everything I did, everything that happened, it was like textbook. Like nothing went wrong, to the point where this bull, when I hit him, he turned and he ran 20 yards and he crumpled up.
Well, dude, I remember you telling me, because we talked in depth about this one night, because I would say just my last, because I've killed, I don't even know, 4 or 5 deer now, and it's the last buck that I killed, this one right here. That's the first buck where I was in control.
Yeah.
I remember the sight picture.
Yeah.
I remember releasing the arrow.
Yep.
I remember watching where he ran into the
Yep.
wood line. The other ones, it's just kind of Hail Marys.
just
and
happened.
It's like, oh, fuck,
You're
dude.
like,
oh, fuck.
Yeah,
dude,
all your fundamentals go out the window.
And I remember you told me about this bull. You're like, bro, I was fully present in the moment.
Yeah.
I was a hunter, dude.
I had the wherewithal to wait for him to take a step forward so his front shoulder moved.
Yeah.
Like,
it's fucking rad, bro.
right? So I kill this bull, and I'm like overwhelmed with joy. I shed a tear. I was like, took a knee, and I was just like in shock what just happened. I actually had cell reception, called my wife, like had a moment together. It was awesome. Packed this bull out. And then the next day I was like, okay, now what? And just kind of went on with life. And then about a week later, I shot that bear. And I won't get into the weeds of all the details. I'm sorry, other hunters. I know we love that shit. The clock's ticking. I made a perfect shot on this bear, killed my first bear, and I was all alone up in the mountains for that one. And this feeling of joy came over me. I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I've killed 2 big game animals. I've notched 2 tags in the same trip in the same year. Like, I've never done that. And usually it's like, I killed an elk this year. I killed a deer this year.
Yeah.
And I've never killed a bear. So I was like, dude, I felt like $1 million. And, pack it down and
with an arrow, bro.
With an arrow.
It's a different thing.
It is a fucking different thing. I'm tell you what, killing a fucking bear is a different thing, man. The noises they make. And go home, settle back in, and again I was just like, yeah, and everyone was super congratulatory, and like everyone was just pouring love into me about this, and like I'm so thankful for all that.
You brought a bunch of the meat to the gym too.
Yeah, man. Hunters provide.
Yeah.
That's the greatest part of being a successful hunter is sharing that with people that you care about. And, but again, just like that haunting feeling of emptiness was just in me. And I kind of started connecting the dots then back in October. I was like, dude, I had this realization. I was like, I don't like who I am. In fact, I fucking hate who I am. And I feel fucking dead inside. And I started to kind of slowly unpack that.
Did you, at this point when you came to that realization, had you already agreed to do ceremony?
Yeah.
With Rosanna?
Yeah.
See, there you go, bro.
Yeah.
Same shit I talked about earlier.
Right. And then the final fucking catalyst, dude, was 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm up in Darrington, up in the mountains, second to the last day of deer season, and hunted all fucking day. And sun was going down, getting ready to head back to the truck, get into this monster deer, and ended up smoking this buck. Perfect shot, 57 yards, killed this fucking deer.
That's a shot, bro.
And when I first hit him, I was like, fuck, I don't know if I hit him good. So I close the distance, and I'm standing there, and I look over my shoulder, and I see him walking. I'm like, fuck, I gotta put another arrow in him. So I knock an arrow, pull back, no time to range. I shoot him while he's walking through the trees. Perfect shot, right through the heart. And he takes 5 more steps and drops fucking dead. And bro, I couldn't fucking believe it. This feeling came over me, like just washed with fucking joy, dude. This deer died, and I was just like, I couldn't wait to tell everyone, but also all of a sudden, dude, I fucking like looked up at the fucking sky to God or the universe, all the above. And I was like, fucking really? And this feeling just fucking washed over me. Like, it's okay, dude. It's okay. You can feel this. Lean into this. Feel this fucking love right now. And I stood there and I fucking cried for like 2-3 minutes, man.
Good, bro.
Just fucking, I could hear my fucking cries echoing through the fucking trees. And it was fucking wild, dude.
You know, as a relatively new hunter who's also found a lot of success in a short period of time.
Yeah, dude, you're killing it.
I've talked about crying in the woods. And there's always some guy on Instagram that's like, really, bro? I thought you were a fucking ranger or whatever, right? And it's like, oh, you guys don't get it, man.
No, they
we are supposed to
feel this
have
connection.
an energetic release because we just took a life, man.
Absolutely. Like you've talked about that.
Like,
dude,
you're supposed to feel that.
I'm not out there killing just because I want to fucking kill an animal.
No, in fact, for me, I actually prefer animals alive.
Yeah.
Like, I like watching animals. And like, that's why I'm not into like, let's go shoot coyotes or let's go shoot crows or whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm
like,
not into that.
Now, don't get me wrong. If like coyotes are fucking getting your chickens, like whatever, right?
I'm gonna murder that
But
coyote.
my point is, I don't enjoy the process of killing. I'm learning to do it because I think it's a necessary part of being a man.
Yeah.
That's why I do it.
For sure.
The byproduct is you get to nourish your family with the most healthy, sustainable fucking protein source available. And to do that, you should feel something. That doesn't mean I won't.
Gratitude.
Yes.
Like,
it doesn't mean I won't go to Costco and buy a steak, right?
Right.
But when I do buy that steak, I now understand.
There's a little more reverence to where it came from.
And for people that think that that's not a natural part of being a human being, go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And then,
dude,
and then you'll
every
feel
animal I kill, I mean, I walk up to it and I put my hand on it and I say, thank you. Thank you. And like, it's heartfelt. Like, I put my hand on that deer and I was like, thank you so much. Like, and I took this page from, I forget where I read it years ago in a book or something, but a lot of Native American tribes, they would leave a piece of the animal in the forest or on a rock or something. And I started doing that too. I'll take a piece of the brisket or a quarter or something and I'll set it on a tree branch and say, thank you. Leave it for the forest. And for me, it's part of my gratitude process out there. So anyways, man, that was like, after that happened, I had this epiphany. I was like, you have some serious fucking self-worth problems and you're carrying around all this fucking baggage that you said that you're not. And
did you truly think that you weren't, or were you
I truly thought I wasn't
afraid to acknowledge it?
A bit of both. Probably subconsciously I didn't want to acknowledge it, but also like, you know, the last 5-10 years of my life, I work out, I do shit in the backcountry, shoot guns, do jiu-jitsu. I was like, I've done all these fucking badass things to quote unquote help me heal. And I think I was just suppressing it.
Yeah.
And that moment after I shot that deer, I was like, dude, you need to learn to fucking love yourself. And you need to put some shit down and let it go. So when I went to that ceremony, you know, they ask what your intentions are. And I was like, I want to receive self-love. And that's not like an egotistical thing. Like, oh, I'm a fucking badass and I love what I am and what I've become. It's your heart and your soul. Like, looking inward and look in the mirror, like really fucking look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and be like, do you love the person that you fucking see? And if not,
become that motherfucker.
Like, I heard someone say this years ago, like someone was like, man, my wife doesn't fuck me anymore. And this other dude was like, well, be a guy that your wife wants to fuck.
Yeah.
And that's kind of applicable to other aspects of life,
bro, isn't it? Like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and it's funny you say that, because I just went through a full curriculum about marriages, and that was like one of the overall resounding themes that it kept coming back to. It's like, if you and your wife don't have a good sex life, there's an 80% chance it's on you.
Yeah.
Statistically.
100%.
You know,
I mean, I'll attest to that. I mean, like any other married couple, we've had ups and downs, and I had to have a hard look in the fucking mirror.
Yeah.
So back to the ceremony thing. I went into that. That was my intention. And, man, boy, did I fucking receive it.
So when you took the medicine, initially you laid down and,
so initially took the medicine and it wasn't my turn. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I've taken MDMA before. I'm starting to feel it kick in. I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And dude, before it was even my fucking turn, I started connecting all these fucking dots in my head alone. I was like, oh, your intentions they're not, you need to learn to love yourself. You need to let the past fucking go. And I was sitting there and it was someone else in our group was on the mat and we were all like holding space for them. But I was sitting there going through it by my fucking self, dude.
Good. Yeah, good.
It was fucking wild. So by the time I laid down and I basically recapped everything that I just shared, and it was like, you know, again, the talk therapy kind of setting, and it felt like you're not even talking. You don't even know that these other people are there anymore. You're just verbalizing out loud and talking through this yourself. And with the aid of everybody else, and then like instruments, I found that musical instruments there are really fucking powerful. And I just had this, I talked through it and I had this emotional release. I started fucking tearing up a little bit, and I was like, no, and Tyler's wife, actually, Vanessa, she was leading our group, and she was like, no, you need to let it out. You need to really fucking let it out. You need to scream.
Bro, they told me that too.
Fuck.
Fucking like from the fucking like depths of who you are.
Yeah.
Just fucking, and it's like, it's a real thing.
It's a fucking real thing, bro.
It's releasing energy. When do we do that?
Never. I mean, maybe on the mats kind of, but like,
no, but you don't
verbalize it and yell. Never. And
it's like, bro, every fucking indigenous culture has dance and singing and chanting, and it's been almost completely removed from our culture.
Yeah, probably by design.
Yeah, and when you do it, you can think like, oh, these guys took drugs and screamed. It's like,
no, there's something to it.
Why did it make me, as someone that's I feel like a pretty reasonable human being who can do good self-assessments and have a good understanding of where I'm at emotionally, when I'm good, when I'm bad. It's like I went through this ceremony, and that's not a big part of the ceremony. That was literally 10 seconds of the ceremony, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, I feel an energy in you that you need to release. Let's fucking just go, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
It was like
and
that.
It's, I can't tell you why, but I know it made me feel better.
Dude, so afterwards, like when I exhaled on the final, it was like 3 just guttural fucking like savage fucking yells, dude. Like everyone in the place fucking heard it. Everyone's doing their own thing, but I was like, the next day I was like, I hope I didn't fucking ruin anybody else's experience. But that last fucking exhale, dude.
You got rid of your trauma and just
traumatized someone,
imparted it right on
poor
somebody
lady.
else.
Oh my God. Yeah. But on the exhale, the last one, dude, I mean, I'll call it what it is energetic release, dude. I felt shit go from the core of my body through all my extremities, out my fingers, out my fucking toes.
Yes.
And it was just like, and for the last 4 or 5 years, I've had this fucking golf ball size fucking knot in my shoulder. And I thought it was from a car wreck I was in, that I thought I pulled something, and just, it's over the years it's had tension. That shit's gone. My wife rubbed my shoulder afterwards, and she was like, that knot in your shoulder is fucking gone. And I have zero fucking tension in my shoulders anymore.
Dude, and this is like way above my pay grade to even try and articulate or really teach anybody about this. But I can understand that trauma can get held in the physical body.
Yeah.
Like there's too many people that are healers that I have trust in, that I've witnessed. Like, that's part of this, dude. And you want to take it a step further? It's not, all that trauma is not just from this lifetime.
No, I believe in that shit. I believe in past life experiences. We're old souls.
Well, I'll tell you this, dude. I have done, I did the ceremony there, my private. And I also had a Reiki healer just do energy and massage work on me once, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'll show you when we get in the sauna, bro. I have a fucking broken rib.
Damn.
That I never broke.
Oh.
Even my fucking doctor did x-rays on me and goes, when did you break this rib? A physician, not a Reiki healer or a fucking
Western medicine.
Yeah. When did you break this rib? I never broke that rib. Well, this rib's broken. Don't you think I'd remember that?
Yeah.
Right?
Speak from experience right now.
So bro,
fucking hurts.
I was getting this Reiki massage and her hands went over it and she goes, whoa, I feel that energy. This is where you died in your last life. And I was like, okay, this fucking bitch is nuts, but that's interesting. They found the same spot and said the same thing.
Whoa.
At last ceremony.
Whoa.
And I'm like, okay, we're 2 for 2 of energy healers.
Yeah.
Saying that I had, the only difference is one said that it looked like a sword went through me there, and the other said it looked like a small cannonball. So It doesn't look like a bullet. It looks like something the size of a golf ball went through you right here.
Maybe you're a pirate.
Yeah. And I was like, well, why would my body carry trauma and build a bone I can't say the word. Abnormality.
That's a fucking hard one.
with previous life trauma. And they said sometimes your spirit carries such a emotional trauma around the physical trauma that it remanifests it in a later life. And like, again, plenty of people are going to hear this and think we're nuts, and that's fine. I'm telling you, 2 energy healers came to the same conclusion, as did a Western medicine doctor, on one spot of my body that I never injured. So take that for what it is. That's right?
Fucking crazy.
But bro, you talk about that energetic release, dude. I didn't have my energetic release like that. I had it with, and I talked about it on my podcast too. Some of the frustrations that I've had with a family member going through this, just nasty energy between us, right?
Yeah.
And the woman that I was working with was like, oh, she's like, Greg, I feel that really dark energy between you guys. You have a really nasty tether between you guys right now. This needs to get severed. This is like, hey, all hands on deck. This is what we're dealing with right now. And she goes, send him love and light, and he'll feel it and he'll do the same back to you. And poof.
Yeah.
And bro, the negative energy was like pulled out of me.
Yeah. That's how I do.
Instantaneously. That was the one I said, like, ceremony for me didn't have like these life-changing fucking like realizations. But for me, that moment, I felt negative tension between us be severed on a universal level.
Damn.
And I don't know if he felt that or not. And the interesting thing is, it's like, you know, we talked about it offline a little bit before we started recording. It's like, man, I still want to send that person love. With a lot of frustrating things that took place, I still want it to be love.
Yeah.
And that helped me.
Yeah.
That helped me. And it's like, man, if you can
get what you put out.
That's right, dude. And in a moment, the energetic shift was from like dark frustration to love. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And she helped me do that. Now, did she help me do that and I'm the one that was actually doing it? Or
probably
does this person hold the powers to really like divinely intervene? I don't know. I don't fucking know. But what I know is darkness got turned to light in a moment.
Yeah.
And that's fucking real.
Yeah. That's
bro, every fucking person I know that's went there has come out with these same realizations.
Not a single.
And these are all studly, awesome, intelligent, high functioning human beings.
Yeah.
Are coming out with the same realization. So for those of you that still haven't bought off on it and just think, oh, this just sounds like crazy drug stuff, maybe it is.
Maybe.
But if it fucking helps your brain rewire and process emotions differently and helps you dump negative energy to pick up positive energy, why?
It's real.
Then it's real. That's exactly
real.
Right, dude.
Yeah.
And here you are 2 weeks out of it, and you still feel like that weight you set down, you haven't picked it back up yet.
Bro, it's fucking gone. Like I can't stop fucking smiling.
So when you felt the negative energy leave your body, did you instantly feel like a sense of worth again?
Instantly. Dude,
you're like,
it was
fucking
like
Anthony's back.
It
dude.
was like I was carrying around this fucking Atlas stone, and I fucking set it down, and just I felt fucking light. Like my body felt fucking light, and I couldn't stop fucking smiling. And my wife came over, at the end of ceremony, and she's like, I've never seen you smile like that. She's like, I've never even, not once have I seen you actually smile like that. You're like, you look genuinely happy. And
bro, like, your eyes are telling the story too.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm fucking smiling, dude.
And you said you saw it in me when I came out.
Yeah.
You know?
Bro, I saw how fucking dark you were a month ago.
I know.
2 months ago.
Like I remember, like,
I went home talking to Roseanne.
You tried to talk to me over in the corner when I was vacuuming one day, and
you weren't having it.
And it wasn't that I was trying to shut you down or not talk to you, because I'm not that guy that's like, bro, I'll lean in with my shit. I was just in a storm, man.
I know it.
And I didn't know how
Yeah.
I was going to get out of it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And bro, no, I felt like a dick that night, because I was like, man, Anthony's being a homie, and I don't even want to call it a check-in. You were just letting me know that, like, hey, I'm here, bro. I see you.
I see you.
You know?
Yeah, you don't owe me anything.
And I just felt like, oh man, like, but regardless, I mean, that's fucking neither here nor there. The fact is,
that's also this community that you built, bro. Like we were talking about this, me and Drew were talking about this last night. Like the profound change that comes out of these walls that you fucking built is crazy, man. I mean, you built this place.
It's insane.
You built this place, a gym upstairs, so you got a place to train with your 6 buddies.
Yeah.
And now look what it is.
Bro, it's become a church, a sanctuary.
It is. It is. And it's like,
it's a temple.
It's not like you're going to come here Monday, Wednesday night and receive energetic work while we're beating the fuck out of each other. But,
no, you're going to break your rib like you're dealing with right now. Right?
Exactly. But it's the connections that you make with other people here and the community outside of these walls. And it's fucking powerful.
Well, and here's the crazy thing is it's, because you look at Tyler, who's played a really integral role in like helping people become better. He needed this to become better first.
Right.
So we're going full circle here.
Yep.
Where it's like you step in here for one reason, and then you become the catalyst to help the next person step into what they need to step into. And then inevitably you're going to help someone step into the next version that they're supposed to step into. And we start spiraling up together, man.
I've got my own journey that I'm going through here, but this has changed my family.
Yeah.
My wife, my brother and his wife.
Tell Phil he needs to come back, bro.
He's going to.
I know he got hurt, but
he's got surgery. I'm trying to fucking bully him into coming back.
Guess what? Joshua's the strongest he's ever been.
Yeah.
In his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
remarkable.
Phil, let's do it, dude.
Bitch. Yeah. I mean, Oliver, like, dude, us coming here and finding this place couldn't have happened at a more precisely needed time.
And what's interesting too is like Rosanna doesn't train jiu-jitsu, but neither does my wife.
Right.
And guess what? They fucking connected. They connected instantly.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not just what's going on in the mats. It's the energy.
It's the energy
that everybody shares.
The community. And I guess a closing thought for me would just all the other dudes out there listening, like, you don't got to carry that fucking weight. Like,
yeah.
You can put this shit down, man. Like, look at yourself in the mirror, have a good, hard fucking conversation with yourself, and like, ask yourself, am I really happy with the motherfucker that I am? And if not, then make some changes.
Well, and you don't, for those of you that are reluctant to lean into plant medicine, I don't think it's the only path out of darkness.
Yeah, I agree.
But
it's a tool.
But I would also challenge you guys to maybe expand the way you think and challenge your ideas on why you think it's such a bad idea. Because again, like indigenous cultures have been using plant medicine to help them through things
around the
world since the beginning of fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
We have a symbiotic relationship with the plants and animals that we share this planet with. And it's not by accident that all of these cultures have come up with these different ceremonies to ingest certain things and play certain music and dance a certain way and chant a certain way and talk and do the things that these cultures are doing. You know, like if you look at any indigenous culture around the world, how many of the men that are 30 years old hate themselves? You know what I'm saying? How many are depressed?
Probably none.
Yeah, probably none.
Yeah.
And guess what? Their life is 100 times harder than yours.
Yeah.
When it comes to the amount of just physical work or danger they're facing or adversity that is just part of their daily routine.
The adversity in getting fucking water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Right.
Like, are you going to get eaten by a fucking crocodile when
or
you're
is
feeling...
this water going to poison you?
And it's like, challenge the way that you think, challenge the way that we have been indoctrinated to think that, oh no, you know, I'm going to go get, because how many motherfuckers listening right now have 16 different fucking prescriptions from the VA that are supposed to make you happy?
Yeah.
And you still ain't happy yet.
Right.
You know? And then you got like my buddy Tony Cowden that did one Ibogaine ceremony and it changed his whole fucking life, dude.
Yeah.
My buddy Seth Farwell, fucking before he died, same thing. One Ibogaine ceremony changed his fucking life, dude. The men that I fucking hold a tremendous amount of respect for here, you being one of them, one heart ceremony, and it's changed your fucking life. And let me say this though too, because this is an important thing. And even though you're only a week and a half or 2 weeks out, I know you'll agree with this. No one's coming to save you still applies. Don't think you're going to go
more so than ever.
Don't think you're going to go do this ceremony and then it's all fucking good.
No,
that's because
it's not a cure.
Yes. I don't want people to think like, oh, fuck, this is all I have to do and I'll be good.
No,
because this window to your soul, this window to who you are, it gets opened up. And now
the work begins.
Now it shows you who you need to be.
Exactly.
And if you're already kind of along that journey, like I think both of us are to a certain extent, it's like, okay, you're doing good, but this is maybe you got to steer your ship a couple degrees this way or that way, right? It's not like this end all be all, but what it is, it's clarity in what you need to do. And it's clarity in having an understanding about yourself, right?
Yeah.
And bro, that's why you can drop that negative energy in a moment, because it's like, oh, this is who the fuck I am, dude.
Exactly.
This is me.
Exactly.
And it's okay, you know?
And the universe is going to keep testing you. I mean, you go do this and it's like you find light and love and clarity, but that doesn't mean that the world and life is going to stop throwing shit at you.
Oh, bro, I'm here to tell you, because I'm a month at a ceremony now. And the first 2 weeks, I was like, bro, I'm never going to feel sadness again, I don't think. Right? And that's not the medicine. The medicine doesn't stay in your system that long, dude. It's the energetic shift, right? But that wasn't the case. I've had, and I haven't went anywhere near as low as I was. Mm-hmm. So that's an important point to bring up, right? But bro, life is about peaks and valleys.
Absolutely.
The valleys don't disappear because you found your true self.
Right.
The valleys still are ever present. You just now know, okay, when I'm in this spot, I know what it takes to get out of here.
There's still I think a good metaphor would be like, you're on this continuous journey and you now have this light to guide your way.
Yeah.
No matter what.
For sure. I like
daylight
that,
or darkness.
And you know, I've heard of people that have, not personally, but like some people have done 100 ayahuasca ceremonies, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's just the next now ayahuasca is your Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly.
Like, and that's why I really want to emphasize on that. Plant medicine is not here to fix you.
It's not.
Plant medicine is here to show you who you are.
Yeah.
And then you fucking fix yourself.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know who they are. Like, you didn't know the baggage that you were carrying. Like, you now know that. right? So you start fucking feeling down about your dad again, or down about like coming home and finding your dead girlfriend. Like, dude, that shit's not gone from your fucking memory.
Right.
And there's be times in your life when you probably think about those emotions or feel those emotions.
Yeah.
But you just have a better understanding of how to process these things now. And you have and you're not going to allow that dark aspect of your past
to weigh
you down, bro.
And I think also it gives you empathy for people too. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure,
it's
bro.
like when someone comes to you and they're like, oh, I got this going on in my life, or this tragedy happened. It's like, for me, I can already, I mean, this hasn't happened yet. Again, I'm only 2 weeks out, but like, I just feel that inside me. Like, I have more empathy for people.
Yeah. Well, and bro, like, people will love this. My fucking Thorizaz hatchet right there. My real Viking hatchet, right?
Shit's
like, sick. It's you know what, I'm gonna grab it real quick for people watching on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like straight hammer forged, fucking handcrafted.
But like, there's been plenty of times when I've wanted to pick this up or a similar item, because this is relatively new, and just fucking butcher people, dude. Just you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you, man. Like, you're
some William Wallace
shit, right? Yeah. And what I've found since ceremony, there's been a couple times when I'm like, I would butcher that motherfucker with my Viking hatchet. Because, dude, it has fucking Mjolnir on it, which is Thor's hammer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want to butcher that person with my hatchet, but I want to butcher him out of love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not out of control with my emotions. Right. I'm not feeling rage and hate. I'm just thinking, you know what, motherfucker?
I love you.
You don't deserve to fucking be sharing earth with me anymore. I'm going to do you and me a favor and fucking butcher you. I remember when I felt that, I told Jenny, I was like, dude, I think that's literally what the rune Thorzos represents, because it represents finding control of your chaos. Chaos and conflict are what that rune represents, but it's be in control of your chaos and conflict. And it's like, once you're in control of your chaos and your conflict, I think that's when you're the most dangerous motherfucker that you can be, dude.
Yeah. But also not taking on other people's fucking energy and bullshit and being able to send that back to them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the fucking hard lesson for me is like, don't take on other people's fucking darkness and other people's shit. Hold space for them, but don't like make that your issue.
For sure. And bro, that's a concept that makes sense. And that's a concept that I've been trying to implement, but
applying it in the real world.
That's a skill that I don't have honed yet. Right?
Same. The motherfucker cuts you off in traffic and it's like,
I think I'm much better at that lately. What I've noticed I'm still struggling with is when people I care about want to walk into this office and dump all their fucking drama about their day on me.
Yeah.
Because, bro, I get a lot of shit dumped on me.
I know you do, man.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like I don't want teammates to feel like they can come to me if something's hard. But there are times when I don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
Like the last couple months, I did not have the capacity. And I had to tell some people that. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to say this as loving as possible. I can't take on any shit right now.
Right.
My cup is fucking filled.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a tough spot that you're in because you're Greg and you just, you know, you're doing you, but also like it or not, bro, you built this place.
I know.
Fucking, you're a leader, and people sometimes need that fucking.
And that's why I don't want to. When I say that on the show, I'm not trying to like even necessarily attach a negative connotation.
Or discourage it.
Yeah, I want to be here for people.
Right.
But sometimes it just has to be time. It has to be.
But
the right time.
You're walking your own journey.
That's right, dude.
And it's not like you're going knocking on their door, being like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?"
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation.
I think what we need to do, and me and Toby have talked about this a lot, and I want to start implementing this, is, bro, it doesn't have to be a fucking a structured healing ceremony where we set intentions of trying to like move past trauma. We can literally get 10 of us and build a big bonfire on my beach down at the river and just talk about fucking life, dude.
Yeah.
We need to start doing that.
Yeah.
We talk about it. It comes up often, and it's in the fucking gloom and doom season where it's 37 degrees and fucking pouring rain.
Perpetually fucking gray out.
And it's like, and bro,
seasonal depression is real.
Bro, Toby even said on Saturday, let's do bonfire at our property.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jenny, we're going to go to the property. And then I went outside and it was pouring and 32 degrees outside. And I was like, I'm not feeling it.
No, bro. But yeah, I mean, you know, guns and geese. Best part about it, dude. Saturday night bonfire.
And bro, that is something. And the reason that I want to bring this up in closing is because it's like every single one of you motherfuckers listening has the power to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we talked about that. There was a couple episodes back where the guys were like trying to promote that, but they were trying to promote it in like almost like an official capacity where it's like, hey, go to this website and connect with us here. And like, we're going to schedule these bonfires. And it's like, if that works, cool, right? I'm not diminishing what they're trying to do. I'm saying with the people you love and the people you're close with and the people that are part of your community,
should be organic.
Be intentional about sharing more energy with them rather than just the rat race.
Yeah.
Because that's what most of us share with each other.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Again, that's a reason why jiu-jitsu is very powerful, because it takes us out of that rat race and bonds us in a level.
Hour and a half, you're here mentally.
But bro, you do that fucking even once a month, you're gonna know the men to your left and right that much fucking better, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking bring some drums out there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let fucking Tyler chant for a while.
Fuck, throw some runes for everybody.
Dude, I love it,
dude,
man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out, man. I know it was kind of short notice, but you're not working today, so I don't feel bad about it.
No, that was good timing, and honestly, it felt good to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. And bro, because you're still
all your listeners.
Yeah, and isn't that funny, dude?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're just sitting down together bullshitting.
Yeah.
But 10,000 people will hear this.
It's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah.
As always, I will put your Instagram in the show notes below if people want to reach out to you and just be curious about it. Because, bro, a lot of listeners that like, aren't fucking famous people or whatever, they're the ones listeners connect with the most.
Yeah,
the most,
for sure.
Because you're just a fucking normal dude.
I'm just a normal fucking dude. I get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, I go to work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a fucking guy
and
out
you
here
fucking
living.
And guess what? A normal fucking dude with a fucking wife and kid, blue collar, has a lot of fucking darkness that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, I think we all do.
And
and everyone's story is different. Like, and it's not a pissing match over who's got the darker fucking story or tragedy or anything. Like, we're all humans, and we're all our souls are all taxed, man.
Yeah. And bro, that's a good point to bring up, because like, there are people like, bro, I mean, that fucking Anthony guy came home to his dead girlfriend, came home to his dead best friend, like then pulled the plug on his dad. Like, the only thing I'm sad about is my dog died. So what?
That's your tragedy.
That's what I'm saying. That might fucking affect you in a manner that is debilitating to you. And it's okay to admit that, and it's okay to fucking work through that with your homies, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you're exactly right. It's not a fucking dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
Because I used to be that way about stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, dude, I know guys that lost their legs in the war. I'm fine.
Right.
Okay, so what?
Right.
Now you're attaching my journey to their journey? It's silliness.
I mean, I've been guilty of that too.
Well, and bro, you know what it is? It's another fucking like just protection mechanism.
Yeah.
Now I'm fucking
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
like,
an excuse. Yeah, it's a compartmentalizing excuse.
All right, well, let's go fucking listen to Viking music and
Hell
fucking cook ourselves in the sauna.
Fuck yeah.